Hey everyone, I'm Dana Sacco, and I help authors use AI to help build repeatable publishing systems without tech overwhelm. If you're new here, welcome. If you are from AI Writing Easy AF, welcome. Say hi. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, in the chat, whatever the hell they call it over on here on YouTube. But today we are wrapping up Planet, the first stage of the author season method, which is my little thing of how to develop a repeatable system so that you don't get overwhelmed with it. And we're looking at what our authors accomplished over just 7 days. Then I'm going to talk about what happens next, which is actually my favorite part. I absolutely love building the worlds. The next part is called Build It because that's as creative as I got with that. And but that creates the whole story system that will hold all the books together that we do. Because if you've been around for a little bit or if you're new, one of the things that really does sell books is actually creating a series. Standalones are awesome. I have a ton of them, so I'm not going to say that they suck. But series are even better. Oh, thank you. I am so glad that you love the school. I love it too. It's taken off and it's been a lot of fun. So welcome. And so I want to say congratulations to everyone who participated. You didn't have to finish. This is one of the really cool things about what's going on with this. Yes, I set them up as challenges. Yes, I said that the challenges have X number of days. Why did I do that? Because I'm not going to sit here and say you can continue it forever. Because I can't run anything to do that. So it might take you a full day of 8 hours, of working on it. Everyone has their own schedule. But what we're doing is I'm making you think the first time through. We have this week. This week's a break before we start on Sunday again with Build It. But it allows you to stop for a second and think about it. And it's a repeatable system. It's called Evergreen inside of the thing. And thank you, Terry. And yeah, it's a completely repeatable system. It's considered evergreen. So once we complete a step, you can go back and do it again or decide, I don't want to do this right now. I want to do this. I want to start next week, and that's absolutely fine. You can start in the middle of the week. You don't have to play catch up. There is no behind. There's nothing like that. And after we complete each one, then they will all be there for you guys to repeat over and over and over again. And there will be updates and things like that as it goes on. Planet, this was actually a really funny thing. Hey, Ingrid, this is actually someone called me out and told me that writing 7 books in 7 days was stupid and all this other stuff. Dude, Planet was never about, they did this on a post about Planet. And Planet is planning. I don't know why he got that whole thing of 7 books in 7 days, but it's not that. Good Lord. So it's about making strategic decisions to prevent confusion and burnout later. I can't stand burnout. I'm very capable of having burnout. I know that a lot of people are also there. That's why we take breaks. That's why we stop for a little bit. That's why we reset our brains. And that's why this whole thing should just really be fun. So the author season method is plan it, build it, write it, publish it, and then repeat. So you can kind of get the idea of where we're going here. We already did plan it, we did we're going to do Build It starting next week. And again, it's 7 days. And Write It is going to be 14 days. Then Publish It is actually going to be 14 days. And then, of course, Repeat. You just repeat and you start over wherever you need to. Today, what we're going to talk about is what people have accomplished during this. It's actually been pretty cool. And then we're going to start preparing for Build It. Okay. And if you haven't figured it out yet, I am so laid back with everything. I just I come up with ideas, I throw it at you, and I hope to goodness it works. But usually I test stuff out to see if it is working before I try to throw it at you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So a lot of people who started out in Planet when we discussed on day 0 was I need a system. I need to be more organized. I have no clue where I am. I need realistic timelines. I need to stop jumping between projects. Who does that? We won't discuss how I did that today. I want a repeatable publishing process. That was like a mouthful. And this is probably one of my favorite because I could totally say this myself. I'm tired of playing whack-a-mole. I'm tired of trying to figure out what's coming next, what I need to do next. I'm tired of doing that. I think that's brilliant. So yeah, I'm tired of playing. Of course, I really kind of like whack-a-mole. Write It includes editing. So don't worry, we will discuss that as well. Because there is such a thing, believe it or not, as too much editing. We'll go over that. I'm guilty. But most people that came into this and I've talked to, they didn't have an idea problem. I think that one of the things as authors is we have way too many ideas in our heads. Especially, I don't know, they come up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And if anyone else does that, I take so many notes at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, ooh, I like this idea. Ooh, okay, let me think about that. And I do that. So a lot of it had to do with, is it marketable? I have so many ideas competing for the same time and energy. I don't have the time to do everything. So this was an idea to focus it. And I'm really thrilled with how some people have done this and have commented on doing what they did. Day 1 was to set our goal for the season. Now, a season is literally what you define it as. I'm not telling you it's 3 months. I'm not telling you it's a month. I'm not telling you it's 6 weeks. You get to pick that. Okay? All of this is based on you and you developing it and you figuring it out and you making it all work again for your business, because plain and simple, authors need to really think about this being a business. I was actually just talking to someone right before this, and it was so funny. They were called out because they told someone that, oh my gosh, they had to think of their author business as a business. Authors need to think of this as a business. And the person was like, really? That's ridiculous. No, it's really not. And that's why some make money and some don't. I really think that's why some get burned out. So that's what we did. Now, everyone who participated, you figured out why your season exists. Why are you doing this? You identified how success will be measured. You figured out your goals. And it wasn't just, I want to make money. I want to sell books. Any of that. We discussed specific release dates, specific monthly income targets, specific read-through targets, specific production time limits. In other words, getting the shit out of our heads onto Amazon. Going back to the thing about editing, revision limits, when to say enough is enough, and how many books we're going to complete during each season. And that means how many books are actually going to be where we want them to be online, whether we're publishing wide, whether we're publishing on Amazon. We're setting this up to where it, how many books can I do realistically? The cool thing is that some people also decided what they were going to postpone because they realized that they have too much on their plate. They realized that their time, oh my gosh, is actually valuable. So where can they put that time that will make them the best income for them and get them to their next step in the goal? The plan isn't only a list of what you'll do, because I don't know about you, but I have a list pretty much every day of what I want to do. And I don't follow it a whole hell of a lot. There are certain things I check off, but other than that, I don't. I'm terrible at it. It's also a decision about what you will not do right now. I have an entire series that I really like it. I really, really like it. I've postponed it. It's written. The entire series of 10 books is written. It just needs me to do the final read-throughs, to edit, make sure everything is exactly like I want. Covers are done. Everything is done. I've postponed releasing it until 2027. And I'm probably not even going to release it until spring of 2027. So it's, it had to do with, I can't do this right now. I know it sounds really weird if I say that, but there were things that I could, and guys, that was on day one. That was all just day one in this thing. Okay. So this is what people have gone through. They went through the worksheet. They figured this out. People came back and said, no, that's not what I'm going to do, because they thought they were going to do one thing, because everyone thinks that, right? You read a post and it has the little type this at the bottom. And then you all type that before you go into the lesson and actually work through the whole process. And they would come back and they're like, oh, shit, I screwed up. That's not what I'm going to do, because I thought about it and that's not going to work. And for me, that was awesome. So day 2, we discussed what are we going to promise the reader? So we just discovered who our ideal reader is. What do they want to experience emotionally? What every book must consistently deliver. That's a really weird one. I just read a series. My daughter's friend was reading it. So I was like, okay, I'll read it. I needed something that was mindless. Book 1, I was like, okay, but I kind of want to see how this goes. Book 2 picked up. Book 3 was a lot shorter. Book 1 was like really long. It took us both, and she's not as fast as I am, but she's pretty quick. I'm getting texts from her. I cannot believe. Please tell me this gets better. I'm like, it gets better, but you got to wait until like mid book 2. Book 2 was a little bit shorter, delivered more on the promise. Book 3 delivered on the promise at even shorter. So she could have probably done away with a whole heck of a lot of the winding of the main character. But it was really interesting. So each book needs to consistently deliver something so that we get something out of it as a reader. Examples included escapism, warm community and belonging. I like escapism, by the way. I like that one, because my whole point of reading, and if you do not know me and you are watching this, I read over 300 books a year. And that does not include the ones I read that are mine, that I'm reading to edit. That does not include those, especially since I usually read those more than once, to the point I really want to throw the Kindle out the window some days. Okay, we have warm community and belonging. We wanted laugh out loud romance. I love those. I love rom-coms for that. I love quirky ass rom-coms. Danger and emotional intensity. We do have some serial killers being written. I love them too. mystery and uncertainty, healing and second chances. So we have a mix of everything. We're not saying, hey, this is just romance writers. No, we have the people, we have, okay, well, there's romance apparently in the serial killers from what I've heard. But we have serial killers, we have horror, we have, one of the ones that I did during this was a folklore horror. If you guys have seen the really weird covers or the really weird promos for Wicker Man, that's I guarantee you. And one of my books is a wicker dude, so it just happened to be that. So readers don't return simply because you published another book. They return because they trust the experience you'll give them. Now, let me explain something that happened over the last couple of weeks. My dark male romance one got a review. I posted this inside of school as well, but it got a review of that it was a great story, but it didn't deliver on the darkness that I'm known for. And so she gave it 2 stars. I was like, wait a second. I'm like, these books are usually irritatingly gross to me, right? And I went back and I looked and I'm like, oh, holy shit, I uploaded the wrong version. I had uploaded the nice one that I do my read through from, and then I insert the smut because I really don't want to read the smut. Like, I'll look to make sure it fits, but I really don't want to read it all. And I uploaded the wrong one. So I uploaded the correct one. It is now one of the top sellers this week. And it's back up to the I think it's at 3.9 stars. So it went from 2 to 3.9 all because I fixed it and I let them know that I fixed it. I was like, oops, sorry. I'm like, so then I got mad and then I let them know this as well. I said, my next book has no forgiveness. It's like just there's nothing positive in the next 2 books because I just didn't feel like it, because apparently you all didn't like the nicer stuff, so we're not going there. Yeah, Wickerman, I don't know if I can watch it. The whole thing is kind of weird for me, but I've also found a ton of folklore out there. Folklore, I think, is now one of my new favorite things to research because I've found some cool stuff. But the day 3, guys, we're only on day 3. A repeatable series concept. How can you do it? Participants defined what remains consistent in each book, what changes in each book, because you can't have the same book, right? Why readers will continue through the series. What's interesting, though, is this came up in it, was that you have a series and it could be interconnected where like they're all in the same town. You could have it continuous where book 1 to book 2 to book 3, they need to read them in order. Then another way to do it was if it had the same theme. And that was a different thing because people didn't really think about that as something. I call them interconnected. They are interconnected by the same theme. And I've done a couple of those, and they're actually kind of fun because they're all standalones, but they all have the same theme behind them. And then people actually they like that because it's different each time, but it's all the same theme. So examples that came in were a different holiday and trope every romance, different business on the same small town street, a new holiday mystery in the same seaside community, a different couple facing a new threat from the same dangerous organization each time. So this is where a collection of book ideas began turning into something readers could recognize and then return to. And that's kind of what you want. Like, I didn't deliver on that promise, so I had to fix it. Readers come back to those books because they expect the darkness. They expect the dark smut going on behind the scenes and on page. So going into day 4, this is a big one as well because a realistic season size. Authors committed to actual book counts, word counts, and timelines. You want to know how important that is? Because now some people have three 35,000 word books over 12 weeks. Totally realistic. Three 50 to 60 word blah, 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 word count books over 14 to 16 weeks. 5 drafted 20,000 K novellas, 20,000 K. See, I need more caffeine. But they want them completed over 12 weeks. Again, very realistic here. We're not talking about publishing 60 million books, one right after the other. I was talking to a well-known author recently, and just to give you an idea, she's in the 7 figures, and I was talking to her, and she can get everything done. And this is what people don't realize. She does not use AI, but she can do a 60,000 word book in a week. For her, that's totally realistic. She said from idea to building it, to writing it, to getting it ready to be edited is a week for her, for 60,000 words. That's without AI. Now, she does not use AI because this is all that she does, and she likes the entire process. She uses it to brainstorm, though. And she says now she uses it to keep things organized because she has multiple series with one huge world. So that's the whole thing. Now, one person in there, they planned 4 books, but when she went over everything, she realized that certain things were overlapping. So then instead, she changed her goals. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to think about it. Finished beats bigger. It didn't make the goal smaller. It made it more achievable when she went through the entire process. And that will lead to less burnout. Now, the day 5, it was, okay, well, how will all of these books connect? A continuing season arc, we just discussed that. Interconnected standalones, thematically connected standalones, or a hybrid structure. They stopped using series as a vague label and decided how their particular books function together, which will come in big when we go in to build it. We had one person, they have an interconnected series on the same block, and they got excited because of where it can take them and how they can expand it if the series takes off, because that's another key. If the series works, how can you build it out? Like I just said, that one 7-figure author, all of her series are in one world. So it's actually a lot of fun because characters cross over just randomly, and it makes it a lot of fun. Just to let you know, I've read every single one of her books. Thank goodness for KU. On day 6, every book received a job. So people examined why each book belongs in the season. Why is it there? If a book was repetitive or weak, we fix that. People realized that maybe their book 1 was the weakest, but it was needed. Of course, it's book 1, so it kind of has to open this series. So instead, change the conflict, change the issues, change the story engine. I just did this actually this past week. I have a series that I'm very excited about, and I started reading it, and I'm like, dude, this is boring, right? And I was like, no, we need more stuff. I'm like, because it works, but to me it's boring, so I'm not going to continue with it. And so we added a whole bunch of things into it to fix it up. That's the whole point of actually going through the worksheets. The worksheets are there for you to actually open up new questions for what's going on in your books and what's going on in everything. people found out that maybe their book 3 doesn't have a satisfying enough payoff. It's not going to make people want more. So instead, you change it up, you figure it out. Then some people realized that some of their books were too much the same. They were pretty much a repeat. And sometimes that happens. It happens with me in series when I'm writing, where I'll forget what book 2 was, and then I'm looking at book 5 and I'm thinking it's the same thing, and I'm like, oh no, those are like almost identical books. I just changed names and like their jobs. So this is why Build It will build on this and build the relationships and everything, so that you're not going to have like all these different things. You're going to have a series with one reliable source of truth. So the final result was everyone got a primary goal. You're able to measure your success. You have a repeatable series concept, realistic season size, connection model, a specific purpose for each book, production boundaries, that's important, and a release window. The goal of the reader, promise, series concept, the lineup, the purpose of each story, everything. Once it was all clear, people were finding it that the complexity that we overthink it was done. So that's what Planet does. It doesn't remove creativity. It doesn't remove, it removes the unnecessary complexity that keeps creativity from turning into finished books. So when we stop overthinking about stuff, this is where it all comes into play. All right. So we have Planet is done. You all have your worksheets. You all have wherever you all have put your answers, wherever you all started building, right? Now we're going to go into Build It. Build It, this is like seriously my favorite thing in the whole world, and I'll go into that a little bit. Build It will create your source of truth, and it keeps you and your AI from reinventing it every time you begin a new conversation. So this is where I call them a codex. People call it a story Bible. This is the one piece. What we're going to be building next week is the one piece that will keep everything together, that you will refer back to. Your system will refer back to whichever AI that you are using. Hopefully it will go back to this document and realize what it's supposed to be doing. On top of that, it should update it for you so that if you decide to expand the series and these two characters are now married, it doesn't now make them meet each other for the first time in the next book. Planet answered what belongs in the season, who is it for, how did the books connect, what must each book accomplish, and what can realistically be created by you without burning you out. Build It will answer, what are the locked rules? How does the world generate the stories? Who belongs in the cast? How do the characters and their relationships connect? What progresses across all the books? What must be set up and paid off? And what's the distinct concept for each book? One of my favorite things about building everything is this is fiction. It's honestly my favorite thing in the whole world. Why? Because you can make it anything you want. You can make it any town you want. You can make the town small. You can stick it in the middle of nowhere. You can make it in a busy populated area. It can have magic. It doesn't have to have magic. If it does have magic, you can make the world into anything. This is why I enjoy writing, because I want to entertain myself. And then I want to share that entertainment with someone else. In a world that I have created, in a world that I have decided this is what we're going to do. It's really funny when I read reviews where they're like, that's not realistic. And it's like, dude, it's fiction. It can be anything you want it to be, right? So what we'll be creating is one organized codex, a connection blueprint, a story generating world, one that you can use repeatedly, a cast and relationship map. Who's related to who ends up with who, and who's over here and who's over here, who doesn't like each other, who kills who. All of this stuff will be defined. Progression, consequence. We're not going to just discuss people's eye color, which actually is important if you do mention it, because then in book 6, if you say that her eyes are all of a sudden blue and they were green at the beginning, it's really noticeable. Don't ask me why. I've never noticed it, but some people have way too much time on their hands. We're going to have progression, consequence, setup, and payoff maps. We're going to have a distinct concept for each book, an AI-ready source of truth for the entire season. It's not just a pile of notes. I've seen these before. When I was involved with one coach with my business during COVID, they did that whole sticky note thing on the wall. And I don't know, has anyone watched the new series? I think it's on Apple TV with Brooke Shields in it. And she's a romance author. Has anyone watched this? I can't remember the name of it. It just totally slipped out of my head. But she's putting sticky notes up on the window, like notes and cards up on the window. And as much as I like index cards, as much as I love Post-it notes to the point that I have certain colors that aren't allowed to be touched in my household because they are mine, I could never do that. That would absolutely drive me nuts. Now, I'm a dry erase person, so I will do dry erase boards and stuff like that. But the sticky note thing and moving it from here to here to here to here, that would absolutely drive me nuts. So instead of having all of that, we're going to put it all together in like one document. Yes, that's it. It's called You're Killing Me. I couldn't remember it, but it's really, really cute. It's really cute. I like it. It's totally cozy mystery. Thank you for probably looking that up and figuring that one out, because I really could not remember it. We're rewatching Ted Lasso, so I think I'm on season 2 of that. What Build It will help prevent is AI changing names between conversations, reusing names and reusing the same backstories, contradicting established canon. I hate it when that happens. Making 2 books feel too similar. Been there, done that. Forgetting setups and payoffs. There's a lot of stuff in here. Losing important decisions inside old chats. Allowing AI suggestions to become canon accidentally. Who's had that happen? It's like all of a sudden they decide to like do a whole side story, and you're like, dude, where did that come from when you start reading? Yeah, I had like an entire couple get introduced and they weren't even in the book. The other thing that this happens is rebuilding the series from scratch every time. You know, like if you go from one chat to the other or one project to the other. Now, I don't recommend doing more than one project or even more than one chat for a series if possible. They now compress it, and you can actually like branch off of it to keep the same chat going, but in a different one. So we'll go over that sort of thing, but that's all in Write It. So yeah, someone said that they had like AI gave them to like dead people they came back to life, and then everyone died from the same thing in the books. So, yeah, you can't have that. You need something that puts everything together. So, how to prepare? Day 0 starts on Sunday. I have uploaded stuff. It is not open until Sunday morning when I wake up. Just to kind of give you an idea, the post about day 0 or the post for any of the days for anything goes out at 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. That is not necessarily meaning that Dana is awake. That's so some people were telling me that the room wasn't open yet, and I'm fully aware of that because I'm not awake necessarily. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I'm working on trying to get up at like 5:30 versus 3. So bear with me on that one. But the post is scheduled to go at 5 o'clock in the morning because of all the different time zones. Then what happens is that I wake up, I open up the classroom, and I publish the day. And then I attach the chat to the day. So if you were ever lost, because we have a highly active group, I mean, AI Writing Easy AF for authors is like a super duper active group. And I'm in a lot of groups. I'm like really surprised at how active we are. And I didn't realize that wasn't normal until like I went into some other big groups and there's no conversations going on. It's all posts by like the person that runs it, which like totally surprised me. And I thought it was such a waste because I don't know what people are doing. I mean, I figure if you're in a group, you might as well learn from people that know what they're doing. And some of you guys know a hell of a lot more or have written a lot more stuff than I have or but make more money or whatever. I just know how to put stuff together to make it work as a business. That is my specialty. But I'll be asking you where your codex is going to live. I'm going to connect everything. So, but if you do ever get lost and you can't find the post, you can always go to the classroom on the day and the post will be connected at the bottom. Just let me wake up first. Okay? Don't start DMing me at first thing in the morning to tell me that it's not there. It will be there. I will wake up. I will have coffee, and then I will start hitting buttons. After I feed Bugsy, because he would be very upset if I did not feed him like within 10 minutes of me waking up. Okay? 15, because I do have to get the coffee going first. All right. So we'll be going, your series codex will live Google Doc, Word, Claude, Chat, Codex, wherever it's going to live, we're going to discuss where to put it. I suggest having it in a cloud drive. Well, if you know anything about me and AI, please do not connect your main drive to chat/codex or Claude, because if you say delete something, there are safety protocols, but there are also oopses. So connect it to a cloud drive somewhere. In each project, we'll go back over that as well when we do this. You'll bring in your plan, your author season plan from Planet. If you did not do Planet, it's really okay. I do suggest you go back and do that. You can do that starting right now. You can do that starting when we start the other one. It's okay. You can still comment on your progress, and we're still going to cheer you on. That's how this whole thing is designed. That's why I made it so that all the posts are linked underneath it, because all the posts, if you look for them and you look for day 0, you're going to have multiple posts that you find, and you got to make sure that you're on the right one. So it's a hell of a lot easier to go into the classroom, find the day that you're on, and write your post. Comment on what it is. Okay? That's the whole purpose of it. If you have character or world information that you already are bringing in, bring it with you. Bring it in. We're going to have it. If you have questions or undecided stuff, ask. Like I said, we are a very active group. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you always have to DM me about it. You don't have to message me about it all the time. Believe it or not, a lot of the times, if you guys post in the group, someone else is thinking of that same exact thing. So please post it in the group. Ask the question. You will get answers. I get notified of all the posts and everything else. You're more likely to get lost in the DMs with me than you are to get in the conversations, because everyone that joins the group gets a message from me, and then they get filed away in my DMs. So I wake up in the morning, I got 60 million of them sometimes. Really depends. So all of that conversation is inside my system, so it kind of whatever. Where am I? Okay. If you have a decision that you are locking down, we're going to lock it down. Flexible ideas, stay flexible. I love flexible ideas. I'm more flexible than it. Unknown, we're going to label them as unknown. Believe it or not, you're allowed to not know everything. AI suggestions, we're going to take those and put them as a maybe, okay? You don't need every answer before build it. You need one place where the answers can live as you approve them. Repeat that after me. After you approve them. Chat and Claude, Gemini, whoever else you're going to use is not the one approving your ideas. You are approving them. You're going to say yes. So everyone can still come in to build it if you want to, even if you have not finished Planet. I do suggest you at least look through it. It does not necessarily, since all the days are open, I'll be realistic. It does not, if you have time, you can go through 2 or 3 days at once. I do suggest going through the worksheets though, and not just the lesson. They're built for each other and with each other. Bring the clearest version of your current idea. You can catch up with the Planet stuff. I just said that. Do not wait until your plan feels perfect to start build it. Bring what you know, mark what you don't, and keep moving forward. There is no behind on this. There's no, I need to catch up. Please don't feel that. You can, because we have time. So on day 0, I'll be asking some questions. I already told you it's going to be, where is it going to live? If you haven't completed Planet yet, go to the classroom and begin looking. Because everyone is invited to this. This is a free challenge. All of the challenges are free. You just have to be a member. It's $5 a month. And to be held accountable, that's awesome. There's also people that I believe we're looking for accountability partners for some of this. So I will be adding an accountability classroom with just like one post on like one thing that describes what an accountability person is, with a comment thing underneath it for people to interact just for accountability purposes, because people are looking for help. There used to be, from what I've been told, like live groups they would go to, and like authors would just get together and brainstorm and stuff and hold each other accountable. I've seen this in like on TV, but I've never heard of anyone actually doing this. But I think it's so cool because now we have it here, and we have 1,000 people that you can use as an accountability partner. Find someone in your time zone. That's very helpful. Find someone in the same genre. Find someone, whatever, these type of things. It can be great. Find someone that you want, that you click with, to do that with. And I'll probably be setting that up in just a little bit, probably tomorrow. Other than that, I'm super thrilled with how this turned out. I really wasn't 100% sure how it was going to go. and how it was going to be received, if it was going to be too easy or something like that, or didn't make sense to people. So I'm really thrilled how it goes, and I'm really thrilled with Build It, because I actually re-edited it just this morning, before I went to go play pickleball. I went to go and I changed like a couple things in it. So guys, that is it. I'm really excited. I'm excited where this is going. I will see you all on day 0, and I will see you inside of the group. Again, if you do not know me and what I do, I'm Dana, and I am the chaos coordinator over at AI Writing Easy AF, and that is the QR code for it, and you guys can log in from there. There's also in the description of this live, the link should be right up front. My biggest thing is that I help authors, independent authors who want to build systems, repeatable publishing systems. I think that makes without getting overwhelmed with it. Most people know I consider that we are in the Wild West of AI. If you are of a certain age, you may remember when internet came out and there were people saying that it wouldn't catch on and that it was crap and that this is bullshit. I remember that. I was very much in the middle of it. Don't ask me to, I had people saying, don't ask me to email you. I don't believe in email. Email is never going to catch on. Back then, I think that smartphones were thought of in the same way. They'll never catch on. So that sort of thing. And here we are again in the beginning of this. So it changes every day, as most people know. And I'm excited to be on this journey. I'm excited that you guys are with me. And guys, thank you so much for joining today. And I will see you in the group. Have a great day, guys, and go enjoy it. Have fun. I'll see you Sunday. Well, I'll see you in the group anyway, but officially Sunday.